Good morning, everyone. How are you? Thanks for joining us. My name's Anna Valoy Fitzsimmons, and I want to thank you for joining us for the 6th annual Apex Accelerator Tri-State Mega Matchmaker. Again, Anna and I represent the Monroe County Upstate New York Apex Accelerator. We're one of 13 centers sponsoring today's event, and we're happy to do it. This virtual event is perfect for the weather, right? If you're anywhere in New York State, Pennsylvania, and beyond, and are impacted by today's nor'easter. So, yeah, perfect for the kickoff to December. And I am here joined by, in addition to my colleague, Joey Scott, I'm also joined by my colleague in Pennsylvania, Mr. James Garrity. He's the program manager with the Southern Alleghenies Planning and Development Commission. Good morning, James. Before we get started, James is going to review our agenda for the next couple days.
Thanks, Anna. Good morning, everyone. Good snowy morning. Welcome to weather in the mid-Atlantic area, where if you don't like it, just wait 5 minutes. So what we're going to do, we're going to review a couple of things with the agenda. We have, you should have received an email this morning about 7:45 Eastern time with not only, instructions on how to join various things, but also an agenda. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to get to some opening remarks shortly. May have to do a little bit of pivoting, but that's par for the course with some of these events. Want to review, though, we got some really neat presentations for the 6th annual Tri-State Matchmaker, and I just dropped my agenda, so we can borrow Anna's agenda. So what we have, we've got our opening remarks coming up. We also have, this is today, mind you, this is for Tuesday, December 2nd. We have an introduction to the DefenseWorks ecosystem. We also have a cybersecurity training for manufacturers. It's directed at kind of everybody, because there's certain things that can be taken out of it, but there's a very special topic for manufacturers, especially ones sitting in on our tri-state here. And then we have Project Spectrum, which is a cybersecurity resource partner that the Apex Accelerators have with the Pentagon. So we're very happy to have them today. Then tomorrow, December 3rd, we have again some keynote addresses here on the defense industrial base. We also have at 10 o'clock tomorrow a discussion with Mr. Vince Jordan from the Pennsylvania Talent Pipeline Program. That's a marine industrial base project that's going on in Pennsylvania and beyond. We have a presentation from the SBA. We also have a really cool, and I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you putting the agenda up on the screen. At 2 p.m. on December 3rd, we have the large prime contractor panel discussion. This is something I'm really looking forward to hearing what these prime contractors have to say about the defense industrial base, the marine industrial base, and the government industrial base. And then to wrap everything up on Wednesday, we have doing business with Air Force Research Lab. We've had a wonderful relationship with AFRL for, I'm thinking, around 5 years now. I think they've been to all but one of the tri-states, so we're really happy to have them back here. Then the other thing with the agenda, we have starting at 10 o'clock, let me go off camera for a sec. Starting at 10 o'clock, we have the matchmaking sessions. Now, these are pretty wild. 10 o'clock today, the matchmaking sessions start off, excuse me. And they will, they're going to be 12 minutes apiece. And that's probably one of the neatest things about this presentation, about this event, is that companies get to talk with either other companies, agencies, or large primes to get this stuff going. So with that, I want to hand it back over to Anna, and she's going to pivot the computer away from me, and we're going to go into the next event here.
Fantastic. Thanks, James. So we have some great opportunities for small business with over 700 appointments booked at this event in support of the defense and government industrial base. So very excited So now it is my great pleasure to introduce our opening speaker, Mr. Kareem Sykes. Mr. Sykes currently provides industry and engagement support for Project Spectrum, a U.S. Department of Defense recognized cybersecurity awareness initiative that offers resources, training, tools towards increasing cybersecurity awareness and hygiene for small businesses in particular. And it's amazing the new rollout that's been recently announced through Project Spectrum. And Mr. Sykes has been a part of this since the beginning. So his dynamic leadership and the team that he has of cybersecurity professionals whose collective aim centers around providing educational resources, tools for small businesses and institutions that need to develop, implement, and maintain cybersecurity compliance. And we all know how important that is, in particular, with anybody looking to do business with DoD or DOW. So with that, I'd like to welcome Mr. Sykes. Good morning, Kareem. So great to see you again. I don't know if you're able to take yourself off mute. So just give him a second. So yeah, while Kareem is working on that, you know, one of the things that I was most excited about, and I'm sure you're going to hear a lot about later on as well this afternoon as well, is how now when you sign up for free services with your CMMC compliance needs through Project Spectrum, you will have the ability to submit a ticket, and you will have somebody that will basically be there to support you and guide you every step of the way. And James, is I'm sure you're aware, and talking to your small businesses that you're assisting down in Southern Alleghenies, how important that is for small businesses. It's critical. I'm sure you've heard some great stories coming out of there.
We have. We've actually been using the Project Spectrum website with directing a number of clients there. And it gives me an opportunity to not only, increase my knowledge of what's necessary for upcoming cybersecurity requirements, but also making sure that my clients understand what's going on. The nice thing there's some nice tools with the on the Project Spectrum site, excuse me, that can walk a business through what is needed at kind of like the ground floor level, and then level one, level two. And a lot of those, when you start putting it into bite-sized chunks, it stops being so daunting, from the point of view of a company. They might be going, oh, well, okay, now we might be able to work with our managed service providers to take care of, access control or one of the other fields that's in CMMC. So having that bit of education, having that resource has been just simply wonderful, especially with the new rollout of the CMMC rules as of November 10th.
Yeah, yeah, and let's remind people what those rules are, and that's what basically every DoD contract, every defense contract that's out there, will have some CMMC level requirement, right?
Yeah, there's a clause that's going to be in all the contracts, FAR 52 .204.21 or -21. And I apologize, I don't have my notes right in front of me. I'm in a different room that from my notes in the other room. But yeah, that's pretty much in any kind of DoD contract, and it's also within. It's going to be a flow down for all of flow down from prime contractors down to subcontractors.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and so what's great is Office of Small Business Programs has put together an ecosystem, if you will, for small business to really integrate into the defense industrial base, and it's very critical that you all do. And what does that mean? That means you've got your Apex Accelerator centers all across the country. There's not over 90 centers across the country that are able to support you at no fee, and making sure you're ready, capable, and able to do business with the government and taking those steps required to get you to CMMC. And then we have Project Spectrum, the other OSB program that's there for you to support your efforts, and as you continue your journey to get that compliance in place. So those are just a couple of tools, right? That we have that are ready, capable to make you ready, capable, and able to do business in the defense industrial in the DIB.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about what a journey, when you're working with your Apex Accelerator, what's that journey small businesses take? And Joey, feel free to join in the fray, but you may be a little busy in the background. But so I think we have a couple of folks on the call here that can jump in that are also Apex Accelerator centers. We will continue talking about those important steps for small business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so James, we deal with every industry that's out there.
Yep.
Obviously, there's a keen focus on supporting and reshoring, rebuilding the defense industrial base through our manufacturers. And but there are so many other items that support manufacturers. So, we're working with all kinds of small businesses. But let's focus a little bit on manufacturers right now and the kind of extra hoops that they have to jump through currently. And I know OSBP is looking to streamline things, as is the whole acquisition process. They're looking at streamlining. So, maybe I can pull up a few slides and
Certainly. From kind of a ground level thing, what Apex accelerators have to do is basically be able to understand where businesses are coming from. Dealing with companies that are just starting out, we walk them through various registration processes and government marketing government marketing strategies. Basically you're working with like capability statements, figuring out who to speak with at various agencies. That's all part of like almost day-to-day operations for Apex accelerators. When you start looking into manufacturing, in addition to all those like kind of ground level things, there's some extra topics that we do need to bring up. There's critical technology areas, which Mr. Sykes, well, actually, we might be getting into them in some of the other keynote addresses today. But also, that's a okay. Okay.
That's where we want to be.
Oh, okay. All right. Great.
Good thing we didn't have to drive anywhere this morning, right?
Yeah, seriously. So yes, those are our Apex accelerators across the country. What that map doesn't show is all the Apex accelerators in Alaska and Hawaii and Guam, Puerto Rico. We also have the ones on Native American areas. Mm-hmm. So as Anna said, we got 90 plus Apex accelerators. Some are regional, some are statewide. Others cover the Native American territories.
And if you don't know where to find your Apex accelerators, the links provided below on this particular chart are going to guide you, so you can work with the right center.
Certainly. So our authorization comes from 10 USC 388, subsections 4951 through 4961. In 2022, we moved, so to speak, from Defense Logistics Agency, where we were there since 1985. We moved from Defense Logistics Agency to Office of Small Business Programs, and that's been quite a change. We've had a lot more interactions with not only agencies but also larger prime contractors and regional prime contractors, because now we kind of got elevated as a resource partner. So we're really happy to be a part of that. It's a great thing to be able to help our small businesses in our respective areas.
Yeah. So these are some of the areas that OSPP is working on. Cultivating and sustaining the dib and gib for us. This is our Apex Accelerators mission, basically. And how are we doing that? By increasing contractor readiness. And Robin and Joey, feel free to jump in at any time here. Facilitating innovation for the defense and government industrial base. Focus on key technologies, which the Secretary of War's office just recently announced some key updates on how they're hyper focused on 6 critical technology areas, which we'll highlight in a moment. Of course, we talked a lot about cybersecurity. You are going to hear more about cybersecurity this afternoon. Again, strongly encourage you to join us on that. It's very critically important. And so, and remember to access all the other speaking opportunity sessions that are out there. Please check the email you received this morning. Each speaking session has a different link. And then, of course, strengthening the supply chain through DPA Title III and industrial base analysis.
And sustainment.
And sustainment, yes. Thank you. So, James, let's talk a little bit about these critical technology areas. And these were the original ones, right? And before they've kind of consolidated and become hyper-focused, but still very, very important, right? So, some areas that, you've worked with and seen move around.
Certainly. And just because, you're seeing these 14 topics here, like quantum science, doesn't mean your company has to be dealing with qubits and making those quantum computers that require a whole lot of liquid nitrogen to keep cool. You might be building a small part of it. Maybe you're making a wiring harness. Maybe you're making designing some coolant technologies for something that goes into a quantum computer. That's just to understand that these are what these these critical technology areas are and how they impact businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And why they're so important too is, we saw, I think, during COVID, what happened when our supply chains were broken and how we really didn't have the materials required as a country and, kind of left us vulnerable in many different ways. So we need to stem that tide. And so while, okay, you're saying, oh, they're only talking about manufacturers, I'm headquartered in Rochester, New York. So we were the home of Kodak, Xerox, Bausch, and Lomb. Okay. And well, we know that they're not the giants that they once were, but there's a lot of spin-off. However, I will say, for every manufacturing job, you get 3 to 4 spin-off jobs, and that's in the service industry, in construction, and so forth. So if we all focus on these areas, everyone else grows along with them. So it's critical.
A rising tide raises all boats, basically.
Yes, exactly. So now, James, let's take a look at the newly announced critical technology areas real quick. And let me move this out of the way so you can kind of see. Yeah. Okay.
So these are all CTAs is what they call them, critical technology areas that are definitely they're being looked at from more of a national security issue. So applied artificial intelligence, that means, battlefield not knowledge, but basically being able to being able to grab in a whole bunch of data from a battlefield or from a situational area, and independent of size. I mean, it can be something very local. It can be something that's in a region. They're pulling in this applied artificial intelligence to give analysis, to give, feedback to people, to decision makers. Same thing with biomanufacturing. It's not just life-saving medicines and all that. It could also be assistive technologies and that kind of thing to help heal our wounded warriors.
Well, and so one of the things that really caught me was the contested logistics technologies. And I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? And so, we're all learning. We have these great links for you to do your research as well. But certainly do talk to us more about it. And so here's what I found over to the right-hand side of the screen about, what is contested logistics. And here's how it's described as an environment in which the armed forces engage in a conflict with an adversary that presents challenges in all domains and directly targets logistics operations, facilities, and activities in the U.S., abroad, or in transit from one location to another. And that's according to U.S. Code Title 10. So those contested logistics technologies are the tools and systems designed to sustain military operations in environments where the adversary can actively target and disrupt supply chains across all domains and air, land, sea, space, cyber, and electrical magnetic spectrum. So I thought that was a really good summary of that and puts it in perspective.
The electromagnetic spectrum and the cyber thing is kind of neat because that's a little more esoteric. That's not, putting a piece of armor plate on a vehicle. That is, you're strengthening, you're doing cybersecurity, you're doing frequency shifting for encrypted communications, that kind of thing. So that's where these go.
Okay. Let's go to the next page, maybe.
Come on, PowerPoint.
Okay, we talked about Project Spectrum quite a bit, right? You're going to hear more this afternoon, so we won't dwell too heavily. But maybe we look at those core competencies and this comprehensive platform, that really provides companies, small businesses with the resources, tools, training, and this is great on behalf of the DOW recognizing Project Spectrum as the premier resource for the training that's required for cybersecurity within the defense industrial base.
And absolutely. And to beat on this drum a little bit more, they're a great resource partner with Apex Accelerators and the clients that we serve. So we're happy that to be a part of this, and we're happy that they're going to be presenting on this a little bit later.
Yeah, and these guys are really hands-on, just like your Apex Accelerators hands-on. Our mission, we are boots on the ground. We're here to educate you, let you know what the resources are, but then you come back to us and we work and map that individual plan that's necessary for you to be successful in the DIB and GIB. And, we are those boots on the ground as are they with cyber. So foreign ownership, control, and influence. It always gets me, right? And talking to people, you think it's pretty simple, and it kind of is, right?
Certainly. It whenever you have foreign ownership control, just like what the definition there on the screen says, it's when a foreign entity has the power to direct or influence the management or operations of a company. Sometimes this can be innocuous. It might just be that maybe a sovereign fund is funding a stateside angel or venture capitalist or an angel investor kind of situation. So we just have to be very, we as Apex Accelerator counselors have to be very understanding of what all can come through. And this infographic right here is a perfect example and something that we've shared with our clients as well, just to show them, hey, this is actually what it can look like. So just be aware of it. And especially when you have like the upper right there, supply chain located in a foreign country of concern. Yeah, that goes back to our supply chain. It goes back to the contested logistics, those kind of things. Yeah. So we got to be very, very careful with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, as you're growing your business, I think, and innovators in particular as well, right? And you're looking for venture capital, you really have to do your due diligence on where this money is coming from and who are these LLCs, who's behind these LLCs. So, I mean, you want the investment, but do you want to lose your intellectual property? And is it worth it? Same thing with cyber hygiene. I mean, that should be something that, and it is more and more as businesses are getting out the gate or getting up and running, that's just a commonplace. Like you would, protect your checkbook is you're going to, right?
Or keep your business information, your checking account numbers, your
right.
bank accounts. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So how do we really help small businesses? So
it's more like what don't we do?
Right. Soup to nuts. Yeah. So first of all, because of how we're funded, right through Department of Defense, Office of Small Business Programs, DoD, and our host agencies. Every center has a host agency. We're able to provide our services at no cost, so which is great for you, or as I like to say, prepaid for. And I kind of break it down in 3 areas, James, and then maybe I'll toss over the counseling part to you. I have to say, majority of our work is done one-on-one counseling, right?
Absolutely.
And Robin, feel free to jump in here. We do the market strategy, which is critical. You started to talk, James, about your government capability statements and that roadmap. And then, of course, the training and networking is important. So making sure you're ready, helping you understand who's buying what you're selling, making sure you have the right registrations and certifications in place, and then understanding how the government supply chain works and how these buyers work. So these workshops that we're doing, these webinars, the government to business matchmaker, which we're doing today, basically, and the outreach is where we want you to end up. But even more so, we want you winning contracts.
Yeah.
That's our goal, and being a part of the DIB. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to get into.
Yeah. So some of the things that we talk about during counseling sessions, the one in the upper left there, assessment, that's that's step 0, right? We talk to the businesses and say, all right, so what do you do? What kind of services do you provide? We also might ask some pointed questions about, how your business is operating. Do you have, how are things, going? Are you, you running at capacity? Those kind of things. And that kind of gives us an idea of the potential to do business with the government. Now, sometimes I've encountered this, I'm sure Anna has as well. Sometimes we run into a company that I like to refer to as a cake that needs to go back into the oven. Sometimes they might not be ready for government contracting, but they still need some assistance. And that's when we start referring them to other partners that the Apex Accelerators on a nationwide basis have. So we're certainly happy to make those referrals to like small business development centers, those kind of things. But that assessment is very much key to making sure that we got the right companies dealing with government contracts. So again, we also deal with the assisting of the federal and state registrations, capability statements, any kind of subcontracting opportunities. Because to be honest with you, subcontracting is a great stepping stone into prime contracting. It's a lot easier, especially when you do your subcontracting. You're not taking on the whole responsibility of the contract. You're taking on a very small portion of it, which is perfectly fine. We also assist with post-award performances. We also clarify things. Probably 50% of the communication I get from clients is, hey, what does this clause mean? Or how is this going to impact my business? Or, hey, can we talk to our contracting officer about, hey, there's an issue that they need to be aware of, those kind of things. So we always we kind of help with that clarification and that guidance for our clients. So,
Yeah. And I think James, one of the things important to impart here with everybody on the call is that we're not just working with startups, or granted, we don't, those that are just starting to do business with the government in the government space. I mean, we have people coming in all directions, folks that have been doing business with the government for some time. And, they need assistance in these very highly technical areas. And, whether it's packaging and labeling, and we're bringing in our partners over at DCMA or DLA and what have you. And so, it's really important. I call them ghosts. You work with the business for some time, you get them up and running, and that's what we want. We want you running out the gate. It's kind of the crawl, walk, run, if you will, of government contracting. And then they come back with a real doozy of a question for assistance, which is great. And we get on that. And so, and one of the things I really wanted to highlight too is one of the efforts that we're working with our Office of Small Business Programs is a nationwide database that they are launching for small business, that you will receive an invite from your Apex Accelerator as we ramp up. And we are just ramping up and getting this going. So it may be a little bit, or maybe sooner. But we're almost there, right? So that's real exciting. And what does that mean? Work with your Apex Accelerator if you're not working with them now. Get in that database so we can invite you to be part of this nationwide database. That's a direct main line to DoD Office of Small Business Programs.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, so we don't just work with small business, right?
Absolutely. We primarily work with small business, not going to lie
right.
there, but we also help larger businesses, we also help government agencies. That's actually quite a bit of fun there, because that gives us new people to talk with, and we're happy to do that. We also do a lot of assistance on the legislative side of things. So, the DoD is on the executive branch side of things. We also get a lot of referrals and questions from our legislators, both at the federal level and at the state level. So it's a great thing to be able to have those offices understand that, hey, you're a resource partner, and that they can refer clients to you.
Yeah, I think what James is trying to tell us is that Congress loves our program
Absolutely.
because you are their constituents and we are here to assist you. But it's great working with the contracting officers and getting to know those small business professionals at the large prime contractor, in the large contractors, because it helps us help you. And it helps us guide you to, hey, these guys need this particular support and service. And so, that's kind of where we're at.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to let you take the next slide.
Okay.
And I think.
Great. And this infographic was literally released last night. This is a nationwide infographic of our Apex Accelerators Center's performance from April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025. So we had about federal funding of $55 million, 90 plus Apex Accelerators. We helped over 26,000 new businesses. Now, those are businesses that have not talked to an Apex Accelerator ever. They're brand new, right? So that works out to about 100, new clients per day. And of those new clients, about a third of them, actually a little over a third of them, were in those critical technology areas that Anna and I discussed earlier in this presentation. Outreach events are probably one of our favorite things to do, because not only do we get to talk about something and be a possible subject matter expert, but we also get the opportunity to hear from subject matter experts on new topics, or maybe even very complex topics. So we did over almost 6,300 outreach and training events in that time period. The end result turned out to be the clients of the Apex Accelerators nationwide won over almost 550,000 contracts worth about $65 billion, which is significant. And when you start looking at things like return on investment, that little thing over in the lower right-hand corner that says 1186 ROI per return on investment, that's $1,186 to $1 invested. I wish my 401k got that kind of a return. So got that. We're doing a little bit of war rooming here. So anyway, that's where we are with the numbers for FY25. We're very proud of those numbers. We're going to make them better. We're going to make those numbers bigger going into program year 2025, which will end sometime around March of 2026. So we're really happy about doing that. And
yeah, this is very excited for the work with small business. And so I guess our message to you is, please reach out to us. Don't think that you're too soon for support or you're beyond the level of support. Let us help you map it out. We're working really hard helping large prime contractors map out their contracting needs. So definitely small business needs to be in the room. And and that's the other thing, I think, building that relationship, having that relationship with your Apex accelerators, and making sure that you're working with them to define what are your NAICS codes. I mean, it sounds so fundamental, right? But if you are not tracking the correct NAICS codes as buyers are using them, and by the way, they get updated every so many years, every decade and in between, right?
Every 5 years.
Yep. So if you're not tracking that and working with us, we want to be able to make those referrals when they come to us looking for these types of services, or when we do an outreach specific for a large prime that says, hey, we need to increase our subcontracting support, who can send over to us that we can invite, that you've vetted and is close to being vetted.
And, and it would be a good match there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So do we want to open it up to questions for a minute and see if we have any? Robin, can you read off maybe some of the questions, or Joey? And I'm going to stop sharing.
My head is cutting off the
Oh, that's okay.
Hello, guys. You did a fine job this morning.
Oh, thanks, Robin.
Thank you.
I'm seeing a lot of companies that are just putting information about their company in the chat. Someone wants to know, do you have any online trainings? If so,
Okay. All right. So I guess, yeah, we do. We have tons. And okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Will you be sending this presentation to us, Elizabeth? These are all recorded and will be on our Tri-State Mega Matchmaker website. So you can go in there and click a link. All of our general sessions and keynotes will be on there.
Right.
I would say probably in about a week or so after our event.
Yeah. Yeah. Give us a little time to wrap. So yeah. All right. Well, good. So yeah. So everything's being recorded. We do also, Robin, don't we send out a buyer's guide to participating small businesses as well?
Yes, we do.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. And know that you're not alone out there. In terms of doing the government contracting work, we understand some steps are a challenge. The Office of Small Business Programs understands that. That's why we're here as your resource. Please use us. There's no fee. You don't have to pay to get your SAM registration done. You don't have to pay to get on GSA. You don't have to pay for these services. And so let's get you going. Let's get you reestablished. You may have stepped away, and come and join and be a part of the government and defense industrial base.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Here's a great comment I would like to maybe read about the Apex Accelerator. Chantel says, I can vouch for our Apex Accelerator. They're amazing, even for primes. It's amazing having someone to check in with on regulations, or even just to bounce ideas on how to better partner and serve with small businesses. Thank you, Chantel, for that. Appreciate that.
Chantel Agaya. I'm guessing that you're going to hear more from Chantel tomorrow. So on the prime contractor panel, she's amazing. She's a huge proponent of small business. And thank you, Chantel. And I guess with that, I think we're getting ready to wrap things up as we're closing in on this particular session. We do general sessions. Let's do some quick reminders. General sessions for the matchmaking start at 10. And also at 10 o'clock, if you do not have a meeting, please check your sheet that was emailed to you with the agenda. Get the new link. Maybe we should be popping those in the chat. And join us for the introduction to DefenseWorks ecosystems, which is going to be great. And then at 2 o'clock, we have NCIS doing Made to Grow for cybersecurity training for manufacturers. And closing out the day, we do have Mr. Kareem Sykes with Project Spectrum, who you're really, really going to want to get linked up with. And so that's all I have for right now. Again, I want to thank you all for taking the time and joining us on this call. James and Robin and Joey.
And we will see you virtually in about 17 minutes, give or take.
Yep. Okay. So, and good luck on your meetings today.
All right.
Yes, good luck.
Thank you.